Today I will be talking about the Millennium Development Goal number 8, develop a global partnership for development in Zimbabwe. I will start by talking about the current and previous situation for Zimbabwe and what it is needed to help this country reach the goal, as well as the dialectic of the local and global for the country. Zimbabwe is not doing that well in reaching this goal. Just like Greece, Zimbabwe has not done well economically. There has been an overall economic decline between 2000 and 2008, with a cumulative GDP decline of 40%. This is characterized by hyperinflation that peaked at 500 million% by December 2008, and nominal GDP estimated at 3,500 million in 2009. Many countries do not want to borrow money to Zimbabwe due to this reason. Unemployment has also increased due to the negative economy. It has increased about 92%. There is some positive news for Zimbabwe though. Recent reform measures have witnessed macroeconomic stabilization in the adoption of the multi-currency system. This system basically engulfs the use of currency from countries that have a stable economy, such as the United States, China, and Japan. The inflation now averages 1% a year. The country is currently in debt to the World Bank, owing approximately $4.1 billion that will require a debt clearance strategy in order to lift these sanctions. The total external debt was $5.9 billion at the end of 2008, which translates to 185% of the GDP. As far as the external trade goes, Zimbabwe has decreased in exports by 14.7% and imports increased by 12.7% in 2008. This means they are receiving more goods than they are exporting, and it's not good news for Zimbabwe. Partnerships within Zimbabwe are also hard to develop due to the lack of currency within the country. In recent years, Zimbabwe has faced serious economic challenges that have eroded its capacity to remain competitive in regional and international markets. The country continues to face sanctions from some Western countries and withdraw funding from international financial institutions due to the non-payment of its debt obligations. Added to this, a significant proportion of the population currently resides outside the country, mainly in South Africa and in the United States. Zimbabwe's very limited access to international finance for development for most of the past decade has led to a reliance on sharply depleted international resources and humanitarian aid. Currently, its only international reserve consists exclusively of the IMF special drawing rights from a global finance facility equivalent to $510 million. The country's balance of trade position has suffered from the fall in international commodity prices experienced during the first half of the decade and the global economic crisis of the latter half. Between 1980 and 2008, exports grew from 4% while imports grew 0.3% a year. This is an indication of a significant decline. These disruptions were further attenuated by the ongoing domestic financial crisis. Zimbabwe's deterioration in performance in the export market could be attributed to the over-reliance of commodity exports, distortions of foreign exchange markets, particularly during the crisis period, and declining competitiveness. On the ease of doing business, Zimbabwe was ranked position 159 out of 183 countries in the 2010 Doing Business report. New technology has benefited Zimbabwe greatly. The penetration rate or teledensity for the mobile network in 2008 has risen by 40% to 17.52 lines per 100 inhabitants. Currently, mobile network companies are installing city and intercity fiber optic links. Connectivity with Botswana, Malawi, Mozambique, South Africa, and Zambia will be completed before the end of 2010. This is great news for Zimbabwe